Hi, I'm Jordan from BulletproofBJJ.com, and in this video I'd like to address a subject that is very near and dear to me, and that is neck training. I initially got really interested in doing direct neck training because of all the people I was seeing around me who were either sustaining serious neck injuries or just constantly having little tweaks and little problems. And I was actually one of those people. I would chronically have the right side of my neck just at least just a little tight all the time. But at one point it got so serious it actually spasmed my whole SCM and trap and everything up like this, and I was locked in this position, and I actually ended up needing to get knocked out at urgent care so that when I woke up I was finally relaxed enough to move again. And after that little incident I said, enough of this, I've got to figure out how to get my neck mobile and then also get it strong so that kind of stuff wouldn't happen to me anymore. When we talk about mobility, it can be something as simple as just rotating, and rotating all the way down from what's called C7, so the true bottom of my neck, which is actually going to be down around here. A lot of people only move their necks from this upper region and don't realize they're getting locked up down toward the bottom of the cervical vertebrae. I want to have my spine, like we looked at in some of the previous videos, as flexible and strong as possible, and I can't do that if I'm missing entire ranges of motion. So we looked at rotations, anterior posterior glides like this, lateral tilts, and then being able to easily glide from side to side like that. Now, looking at that from a mobility perspective, I want to be able to do all those ranges of motion nice and clean. I also want to notice I'm completely missing one. It's not unusual for me to see somebody rotate cleanly to one side, stop, rotate, stop. Often, because of degradation in the brain maps, they actually don't know that they're doing that. They think they're making full rotations. So I want to start making sure I can move my neck in all the ranges of motion I should be able to. This is going to make it more mobile, less stiff, and so less likely to get tweaked out from something that shouldn't really be causing an injury. Now, on to strength. We're going to load the neck. A lot of you might be familiar with the harnesses that you can put on your head and lift to strengthen up the neck. Also bridging, so classically wrestler's bridging, front bridging. I used to do a lot of that stuff, and that stuff is fine. I started doing a lot more of the band work because I didn't like the idea of loading my head that much. So, and one thing for some of you who are, and I got this tip from a gentleman named Logan Christopher, tip he had in his material, it's called advanced bridging, is if you're doing a wrestler's bridge and your ears start to ring, potentially this could be from intracranial pressure. I started experiencing stuff like that, other negative side effects, and so again, that's why I went to the band. So I started utilizing the basic mobility work that I learned through Z Health, and also I was taught a lot of this stuff by Dr. Eric Cobb, the founder of Z Health. And so this is some of his band-resisted mobility. So we're just going to do a little piece of it. I'm going to show you two things that you can start applying to your neck work and see if you notice a difference. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the band and place it over the front of my forehead like this. I'm going to squat down a little bit so you can see me. You don't have to squat. Now here, I'm in good posture, long spine, and I'm just gliding my head forward. And I'm not straining here, I'm just kind of gently pushing into that range of motion, making all those muscles stronger as I do so. And you can play it by ear on this stuff. You can do heavier sets of 5, I can do lighter sets of 20, just kind of see what works for you. Now the next one I'm going to look at is that lateral glide. So this is the kind of cool one that no one can do, at least in America. And so here, I looped across the side of the head. Now if you've done a lot of front bridging, you're familiar with this one. Usually it's more of a lateral tilt as you're on your head. So here I'm going to actually use the glide. I'm also looking for weird little things as I do this, like my head starts to tilt too much, or I can't keep my jaw closed. And then I'm going to switch here and do the other side. There's a really good chance when I go back and look at this video, I'm going to find, oh, when I did that, my left shoulder popped up or something else like that. I want to observe all these little things that I do because it's cool to do anything that you want as long as it's on purpose. So if I'm trying to laterally glide my head and every time I glide to the left, my shoulder comes up, that's fine if that's the drill that I'm doing. But if it's happening on accident because I'm too tight through here and my head is pulling my shoulder up, that's probably not okay. So again, this is just a really basic idea, some stuff that you can start doing with bands. We looked at before the thoracic AP glide stuff, and now we're starting to load the neck. If you don't have experiencing negative effects from doing from bridging or wrestler's bridging, definitely keep doing it. But if you know that sometimes you get a little twinky from it, or you get some ringing in the ears, or you start getting headaches afterwards, this is another method that I can use. And in the same way that I would vary my training, like I'm not going to only do back squats. I'm going to do, hopefully like this, I'm going to do front squats. And so I can do bridging for the neck, this stuff. I can try the harness and just see what works for you.